Hey everyone, I am back. This is your girl, Book for the Opinion. I'm sorry for the long wait between videos. I just have been crazy busy at the end of last year, and then this year I was in a reading slump for 5 months until the end of June. So I just finally am able to go back into reading and talk about reading and all that kind of stuff. I'm actually also back on Bookstagram, which I'm also excited about because I love Bookstagram. Anyways, um, so I am going to today talk about what the first part of this segment is. So this whole it's kind of a segment, a whole 4-part uh video playlist of uh, my July TBR, because I decided to do it as 4 different categories because my July TBR this year, actually, yeah, this year is a long TBR. It's about 16 plus books, and so I kind of keep on adding. So I wanted to kind of 4 different categories for it. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that this video is gonna be a little bit different because I have, as you're gonna see in this playlist, I'm gonna change up some of the books and actually deleted books already and added books already. So be a little bit different than my Instagram. I'm gonna update that as well. So just letting you know. Anyways, so today I am super excited to talk about this today. The first part of this playlist is 4 books that are 5-star predictions. So these 4 books I'm so excited about. I have been really hyping myself up on, and for different reasons. And I really think these are gonna be 5 stars. So hopefully I'm correct. We'll see. But then let's get into it and let's start talking about it. Before we get into the rest of the video, I want to talk about quickly the sponsor of the video. Not like paid promotion or anything like that, but it is a website that actually helps sponsor me and advertise me. So I want to talk about it a little bit. It is called Weekly Ramblings. So this website is for writers. It's for people who want to express themselves and share their art with the world. They have writers of all ages and locations, including Nigeria, India, Philippines, and the US. They believe that oddballs and outcasts are the most interesting people. These are maybe the people who feel their disability or gender identity or race or religion places them outside of norms of the society. Or maybe someone whose ideas or life experiences are outside the norm. Anyone who's felt left out or weird or different. And honestly, isn't that all of us? They want to bring you advice and tips and hopefully some humor and levity. They also want to create a community where they can support each other and let's get started. Our whole differences. So the first book on this list is So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens. And So This Is Ever After by F.T. Lukens is kind of a mashup of Arthurian legend, like the 5, Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table and Merlin and all that kind of stuff, and Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which is kind of a version of like Harry Potter but LGBT rep. This book is about let's just say like the chosen one, which actually in this book it's his name is Alec. He did the prophecy, he killed the evil ruler and all that kind of stuff, and now he's the ruler, but there's a magical curse on the kingdom that if he doesn't marry somebody by his 18th birthday, which is 3 months away, he'll wither away and die. So he's like going to his friends and being like, will you marry me? Will you marry me? Will you marry me? But everything kind of gets kind of crazy, and they're just like, no. And there's a bunch of painful circumstances, both hilarious circumstances that happen, until he finds out that there is maybe somebody closer to him that is actually the right person for him. So, sounds like some fun circumstances and stuff like that. At first, when I read the description, I was like, is he gonna die? But then I realized, wait, it's me, like a funny kind of twist, satire satirical type thing. So hopefully it's really good. I'm really excited about it. Actually, when I first found out about it, I was like, I want to figure out some other books by this author. So I actually found this book, In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens, which I read at the beginning of this year. This book, In Deeper Waters, is about, it's like a combination of Pirates of the Caribbean and Gentleman's Guide of Vice and Virtue. So it's like a combination of like those two books. I mean, those two, you know, this movie and this book. And so it has like forbidden magic, princes, kingdoms, found family, a great OTP that I found, a great, you know, couple that I found, as well as like LGBT rep and mermaids and pirates and all this good stuff. I'm gonna go a little more in detail into that book later because I have an actual review that I'm gonna put up here, but today I'm just gonna talk about this and this little aspect to it. The second book on this list is The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder. So if you haven't heard of Leslie Vedder, she is a indie published writer who actually is a debut author who just started this year. This is her first book. So I'm really excited to read her, not only because she's a debut author and I want to see where she goes and how she writes and stuff like that, but also because the book itself looks really amazing. So similar to my first book, I found out about it in kind of a weird way, but actually found out about this one by wanting to do an arc of it. I was on NetGalley, which is a website where you can get arcs of ebooks and as well as audiobooks. And so first I want to explain to you what an arc is, just to make sure that everybody knows what arc is. An arc is an advanced reader copy. It's kind of the zone where you have a book and it's ready to be published and everything like that. It's edited and all that kind of stuff. It's just not published yet because the publication date is not yet. So they send it to different reviewers of many kinds, like newspapers, magazines, other famous authors, as well as reviewers like me, which is a small reviewer who is able to read it and review it and talk about it on their channel or their Instagram or whatever else, and try and convince other people to read it and, you know, or not read it, you know. And it's kind of, it's to do that to not only for the reviewers to get advanced copy, but also for the author, because then they can have promotion for their book, their free promotion for their book, you know. Anyways, so I was really excited about this book from the beginning, and I just wanted to say that at the beginning. So this book is a gender-bent Sleeping Beauty meets Indiana Jones, I guess. It follows three main characters. Briar Rose, who is a cursed prince. He's been cursed for 100 years, and he's been under a sleeping spell for 100 years. And he's waiting for his true love's kiss, of course, because Sleeping Beauty. And it's a very common theme in those fairy tale retellings. And so obviously he's been waiting for a long time until finally there is two girls finally on the case. So the first one is Fee, who is a treasure hunter, and she loves riddles and ruins and stuff like that, but she doesn't believe in true love. And she started out with her poking her finger on a bone spindle, and which is kind of like the same, and she ends up hearing the spirit of Briar Rose and trying to realizing that it is true, the legend is true, and he is cursed and all that kind of stuff. And so she gets the help of the other girl, Shane, who is a girl warrior from the north, who believes in cracking skulls, pretty girls, and doing things her own way. Fee gets her help, and they go on this big adventure full of obstacles, of course, to try and take down the curse. But of course, there's obstacles, like I said. There is bad exes, dark magic, witches, actually a witch, and witch hunters. Actually, the witch is actually also after the prince's heart, so that's me interesting. But the blurb at the end is wonderful. It's basically talks about how the book is a young adult fantasy with adventure, romance, found family, and snark, which I'm like, yes, totally agree. I will definitely read it because of that. So like, that was like the first part. Actually, the beginning was good, but then also the ending blurb was just like that what hits me, and I was just like, I want to read this book so badly. But also seeing it and realized there's a beautiful cover as well, and it's just so magical. Even if you didn't read the description, I would be like, I want to read it just because of the cover. So, anyways, I'm really excited about this book. I'm really hoping it's a 5-star prediction. I am kind of hoping, I'm actually thinking it really is going to be because of the description. If it goes well and it actually fits with the description, I will definitely give 5 stars because that's like basically exactly what I want in a book. I love found family and stuff like that, so really excited. Now, the third book on this list is a little bit different. So this book is Tokyo Dreaming by Emiko. What I mean by different is that I actually found out about it right after I read the first book, because it's the second book in a series. So it's not like I'm just at the beginning of the year or the end of last year found out about it and was just like, I'm gonna read it. I was like, I'm gonna read it right after the second book. So the second book is Tokyo Ever After by Emiko. And Tokyo Ever After is about a girl who is like 17 years old. She's Japanese American, and she lives in a mostly white small town in California. And she always feels like she is too Japanese to be American. So everyone makes her feel like, except for her friends and of course her mother, who's always been there. But everything kind of changes when she takes a DNA test and finds out that she is the crown princess of, well, crown princess. I think she's crown princess technically, but her father is the crown prince of Japan. And so she ends up traveling to Japan to see what it's like, because she's really interested in it because her grandparents died when she was younger, and she really got to have the cultural experience of Japanese traditions and stuff like that. So she's excited to see what that's like. But of course, it kind of gets complicated because she doesn't realize that a lot of traditions and a lot of culture that is very different than America. And so she might be in America too Japanese, but there she feels too American. So I think it's kind of like very much of an identity thing. She has to figure out like who she is and stuff like that. This book, at first, I'm gonna say it's right now. Until like 3/4 of the way through, I was gonna give it 3 stars. I thought it was a knockoff of a knockoff, basically. So if you've ever heard of Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot, or the movies with Anne Hathaway, or if you've actually ever also heard about What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes in it, those two concepts, Princess Diaries and What a Girl Wants, kind of are very similar to this movie and it's similar to this book. And so I was like, this is really too similar. So if you don't know what Princess Diaries or What a Girl Wants is, Princess Diaries is a teenage girl named Mia Thermopolis who lives in San Francisco, and she's kind of awkward and stuff like that. And it's really only her mom and her best friend Lily who she really had good interactions with. Also, Lily's brother. She ends up getting a visit from her grandmother and finds out that her late father, who recently died a couple years ago, was the crown prince of Genovia. And now she is the rightful ruler of it. So she not crown prince, crown king. And so now she finds out all these secrets and stuff like that, and she ends up going to Genovia. Well, she doing basically an introduction to her in Genovian culture, but so all this stuff happens, but it's very similar to that kind of same concept of finding out that you're royalty by the parent that you never knew. Very similar to that. What our girl wants is Amanda Bynes' character finding out that her father is the king of England. And of course, just like Mia Thermopolis or Azumi Tanaka, they get annoyed with their mother, of course. But also, it's kind of a big adventure for all of them and figuring all this stuff out. Now, unlike Mia or Azumi, her what her girl wants, her father doesn't know that she exists, as well as he doesn't know that she is coming to visit. So it kind of becomes a kind of big circumstance like that, as well as it's very similar feeling almost to Tokyo Right After. They are very similar, more than even Princess Diaries, because a lot of similar problems happen in both the movie What a Girl Wants and Tokyo Right After. Though, what I'm going to say now is the reason why I am actually promoting this book and promoting the second book is that by the end of the book, I actually realized this is very different. It is a different concept. There's good plot twists and stuff like that. And I actually ended up really liking it and giving it 5 stars in the end, which is very weird for me because usually people don't really change their point of view that quickly. Not quickly, but like, for most of the book being like, I'm gonna DNF this book or whatever, and then realizing, oh, I really like this book at the end. So I'm really hoping that I'm not disappointed by the second book. The second book is kind of taking place after the first book, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really hoping this is a 5-star prediction because I'm worried about it. Also, it could be like total crap as well as like a really great book. So we will have to see which one it is, which camp it comes out of. So we will see. Again, wait for the wrap up at the end of the month to see what my rating is. Or follow me on Instagram, because that is the place that I basically promote this channel, as well as talk about any spoilers and reviews and all that good stuff. I keep up to date mostly on that one more than I do on here. So follow me on there if you're on Instagram. Now, the last book on this list, and not certainly the least best or anything like that, actually I'm really excited for this book. I actually started reading it already, is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So if you've been on BookTube for a while, or Bookstagram for a while, you knew that this came out a couple of years ago in young adult fiction, and now there is a second book out last year, and actually this year there's going to be in August, next month, there's going to be a third book in the series. This was really popular and very hyped in BookTube, Book Talk, and Bookstagram during that within this time, and I really get it so far. So as you can see, I have read about 84 pages, but as you also can see, it is not very far into the book, but so far I really like it. So the book is basically about a 17-year-old senior in high school named Avery Grahams, who has been kind of in a really bad rut. She, her mother just died 2 years ago, and now she is living with her half-sister, who she barely knew before her mother died, but with their mutual absent father and stuff like that, it's been kind of a wild ride, kind of interaction and stuff like that, but they actually end up being really close. and her life right now is school, her side job to help pay rent, and the playing chess at the park with a homeless man named Harry. And but what she ends up finding out is one day she finds out that she actually is part of a will by this billionaire, by Tobias Hawthorne, who is worth $46.2 billion. I will actually put it on the screen so you can see how much money he is worth. And finds out that after the real reading that despite her not knowing about what's going on, as well as the family not knowing what's going on, she usually ends up being the majority, getting most of his money as well as all his properties and stuff like that. So she's really confused and everything, so she kind of changes from being basically living paycheck to paycheck, almost living in her car, all this kind of stuff, to actually end up being an heiress of this Hawthorne estate. So, anyways, the thing is that she's really excited though, because she's like, I get to travel all around the world and all this kind of stuff. But the problem is there's a trick in the thing where she has to live for a year in the Hawthorne house, is Tobias Hawthorne's house, which is actually full of secret passageways and riddles with the family of the Hawthornes. And she has a bunch of interactions with the Hawthornes, the two daughters of Tobias Hawthorne, as well as one of the daughters' 4 sons. And so it's all kinds of complicated and stuff like that. And she's really kind of freaking out because all these people don't really like her now because of it. But specifically, there's 2 points of view in the whole situation. One is Grayson Hawthorne, who thinks that she is a con woman and believes that she's taking advantage of his grandfather or something like that, and that's the reason why she's part of the will. And then there is also Jameson Hawthorne, who believes that with all the riddles and secrets and stuff like that Tobias Hawthorne had, that now Avery is just another riddle that they have to solve. So it's a game at foot and crazy passageways and all this kind of stuff. It's like a mystery with this kind of part, as well as the interactions between all the family members and Avery and other stuff as well. So it's really enjoyable so far. The only thing that I would say is that it makes you feel really poor. Honestly, just think about the house in general. There is 30 plus bedrooms, a basketball court, a racquetball court, a conservatory, 2 kitchens, 1 kitchen that has the main chef that comes every day, and then a kitchen with the 4 to 5 different specialty chefs that are there, including a sushi chef, a Japanese chef, a bunch of other chefs. It's crazy. I'm just like, that's just ridiculous. As well as there is a bowling alley, I think a gym, and so much more. Of course, $46.2 billion gives you a lot of change to do something like that, but it's still ridiculous. That's one big thought I've had so far, is how ridiculous this house is. But aside from that, it just looks really good and really exciting, and I'm really hoping that the hype is correct. I've heard mixed things about this book. I've heard that's really good, or also really kind of disappointing and bad. So again, it's all the 4 reads are really hopeful for five predictions, but because I'm hyping myself up so much for 5 predictions, I might be completely disappointed and give them like really low because of my hype. So I'm trying to very much lower my hype while reading these books so that I'm not disappointed at the end if it's not 5-star predictions. But we will have to see what I feel about this book as well as the other ones in the at the end of the month for my July wrap up. So we are at the end of my video. I am so sad to leave you guys today, but I'll be back up soon in my part 2 video of this July TBR. To kind of let you guys know what the July TBR, the next one will be, it's going to be a contemporary romance. So the last 3 videos are not like this video where it's a 5-star predictions. The last 3 videos are split into 3 different genres. The first is contemporary romance, second is mystery, second one is fantasy, and the third one is mystery. So I'm really excited to talk about them with you guys. But before that, thank you guys so much for coming on here. Please like, subscribe, comment down below if you've heard of any of these books or want to talk about any of these books. Please tell me if you like or dislike the books and tell me like what you guys think, as well as anything else. In the description box below, I will also tell you guys any links to any of the books or movies that I talked about in this video, as well as anything else related to these books. So that will be it. I'm really excited to see you guys in my next video. So also remember, follow me on Instagram because that's the best way to learn and figure out about my channel. So thank you guys so much again. I hope you guys love yourself and enjoy yourself, and stay safe, please, because I don't want any of you to, not be safe in this situation, especially right now with the pandemic and stuff like that. It's crazy right now. So please stay safe and love yourself, and yes. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Bye.